G'day guys. Okay, I am showing you, if you have already seen my video that YouTube made an R18 plus category last week, this will look very familiar to you. However, I am very much aware that there is a lot of people that aren't able to see that video. So I decided that I would go again using a different photo so that it's not at all offensive to anybody. So all I did was I die cut the same. So I'm using all the same products that I used on the other layout. And when I put them in my album, I'm going to have both of them side by side. So I'm essentially just creating a double page layout. Now, what am I doing? I have cut out the... Where am I? I used the Paper Rose stamp and die set called Lots of Leaves. And so this is just me stamping them out. I'm using this particular ink that I'm using at the moment on the black one is called, give me 1 second and I can find what it's called. It's called Dewdrop Moonlight White. It's a little bit metallic. It's a pigment ink and it sits on top of, pigment inks sit on top of the paper. They don't soak into it like a dye. So I'm able to create that white on top of the black with this particular layout. That's what a pigment ink does. So if you're wondering what the difference is, that's what the difference is to my understanding. Now, this is how I created the other layout. The other layout I did vertically. This one, no. The other one I did horizontally. This one I'm doing vertically. So all I'm doing here is just taking the edges off and I'm creating a white border around my black section. And then what I do with those strips on the other side, this is actually a really cool way of doing something. Whether you do it in black and white, you can do any colors you like. And it's going to look really cool. So wherever there's white, it's kind of like a flip. So the other side is black. So see how there's a white in the center? So it's got to have a black border. If you've got black in the center, it's got to have a white border. Kind of that's kind of my feel with it. Now, I used a black and white photo. Yes, it's of Gizmo, but he is not chewing on me. So therefore, should not affect anyone. Now, what I'm doing here is I've pulled out my SIZZIX THINLETS ABC dies, and the number is 66252. Start that again, 665205. I will have that listed in the description below in case it's still available and you want to get it. What I'm doing is I'm creating my own craft foam thickers. That's what I'm doing. So I've pulled out my dies. I attach some foam to my cardstock, just run it through once. Don't try running it through a couple of times. Trust me, it cuts through a single layer of cardstock. I'm using 80-pound cardstock and I'm using, I did run it through twice that way, but don't do that because what it does is it shifts ever so slightly and then you don't get a crisp cut. So I can get away with it a little bit because I'm using a magnetized base. So I have a Spellbinders platinum die cutting machine. And that machine is fantastic. I absolutely love it. I do not have anything to compare it to because I've never... actually, I have. I used a Big Shot once. But I absolutely love this machine. And it's manual. There's no electricity required. It's pretty quiet except for the crackling of the plates. Plate replacements, you can get the universal ones for it. And they're usually 2 for $12. So 2 plates. And the base plate, the only expense that I've had with this is I decided to invest in the magnetized base plate. You can see if you look at the plate there, you can see little dots on it. They're the magnets, and it holds my dies, holds them where I put them. So it's fantastic. Now, so all I've done there is I've cut black and I've cut white, my title, because I'm not 100% sure yet exactly where I'm going to position this title. It is written differently and it's positioned differently to the sister page of this. This one I decided to go vertically with the layout because my photo is in a portrait style. I thought it would go better with it. Now, the other thing I decided to do slightly differently, and I didn't think about it until after I did the other one. I was halfway through it and I'm like, oh, it would have looked really cool if I did it in a love heart shape because we love Gizmo. So I thought that would look really cool. See why I cut it in black and white? So my title can go further into the white or further into the black. That way I've got the flexibility and I don't have to pull my machine out and go through that process again. So now, what am I doing? That was craft foam. I think I told you that. So it was just craft foam on the back of the 80-pound cardstock. Now, this is the only bit that's a little bit technical, a little bit hard. And I say that in commas because it's not really hard. I'm just putting the part of Gizmo's photo that I want to be on the white has to be backed with black, and then the opposite on the other side. So I think it looks really cool. Look, honestly, I really love doing layouts like this where they just look unexpected and you sort of look at it and go, wow, that's different. I really like it. You can do this with colors, like even if you don't think about black and white, think about, yellow and purple, or think about colors that go really well together, like yellow and purple, or, blue and orange, or, all your secondary colors. Having them, or you could do dark and light even. You could do that. So you could do a dark green and a light green. You could do anything, like the world is your oyster with this. This is the simplest idea, but it really does pack a punch. I think it looks really, really pretty when it's done. Now, I'm using leaves. I'm using my, what do they call it? Lots of leaves. I keep going to call it leaves and dyes and leaves. I don't know why I keep going to say that. But it's a paper rose die set and I absolutely love it. It is gorgeous, but you could use any die set. You could even, if you don't have a die set, you could even hand draw these. You could use your Cricut and cut these out. You could do any of those things. It doesn't even really need to have the stamping on top, but the stamping on top of the leaves helps with the effect of the black and the white. Just saying. So, and it just makes it more alive. You could do love hearts. You could do hexagons. You could do this is a style of layout that you could do. Don't worry, I'm still there. You could literally do so many different things with this. The world is your oyster. You could cut your title. You could have a pre-cut title from, one of the thickers ranges. You could get, like Vicky Booten, she has some beautiful big bold titles. Heidi Swap, all of those. You could do some amazing titles and work around your title. My photo was 4x6 to start with, and I took about 3/4 of an inch off it. So it's still 6 inches long, but it's a little narrower. So you could do it with smaller photos. You could do something like this, Brady Bunch style with like 9 photos. You could do something like that. The ideas they're out there. You could do so much with a layout like this. You really could. So don't think just because I'm doing it in black and white, you could just go to town with it. You really could. You could even, let's go down a little bit of a rabbit hole with this. You could honestly even use stickers. You really could. You know those stickers? I bought some. I used them. I got mine from Kmart, but I know you can get stickers. I'm pretty sure, actually, Crazy Craft Obsession have them. You know the Pink Fresh Studio washi tape, and you can get it in a wide washi tape, and it comes with a die. You could actually use that one. Sorry about that. Um, you could even use that one. Truly, you really could. And because I know there's some leaves and stuff on there, you could use that. You could use, the washi tape that you can peel apart and it is like flowers. It creates flowers. You could do that. You could put them onto I want to try in my videos to give you extra ideas instead of just saying this is what I'm doing. You can see what I'm doing, but I want to give you more ideas to go and jump off from that particular layout. And this is the thing with all my videos, I want to teach you a basic skill that you can then, the world's your oyster. Go for it. Do with it what you want. You could use ephemera. You could do so much with something like this. And it doesn't have to be a heart shape. You could do a diamond. You could do a circle, which is what I did the other week. And just frame the photo that way. You could, let me think, you could do squares. You could sort of do checkers. You could do, there's just so, can you tell I haven't scrapped for a couple of days? I have got so many ideas in my head, and I'm up to voiceovers today, and I'm literally, this is what happens because I have so many people say to me, don't burn yourself out, don't run out of ideas. I will never run out of ideas. I kid you not. For 20 years, I have had ideas on top of ideas on top of ideas, and this is what I do. I look at a layout like this and I pretend. So for example, if I wasn't the author of this particular one, if I didn't actually create this, I would be thinking to myself, right, what could I change up on that? What could I do? I could change the colors. I could change the shape. I could go horizontal instead of vertical. I could go diagonal. So I could divide the page evenly diagonally. I could, with this one, I've specifically done more, so it's more of a 2/3, 1/3. Don't measure it because it's not exact, but it's pretty close. 2/3, 1/3 situation. I've got a really good idea for I've always got something in my head, honestly. I could give you ideas on top of ideas on top of ideas. And I'm thinking about doing another live, guys. So let me know in the comment below, what day would you most want a live, because you'll be able to access it. Now, let's get selfish for a second. We're going to be selfish. This could mean that the kids are at school. Okay, this could mean that, there's no grandkids over, there's no kids at school, or the kids are at school, or hubby's at work, or your wife's at work, whatever. You let me know. Just drop it down below, because I've done a couple of lives and they've been on a Saturday or a Sunday. And I'm just wondering, is that a day that's good for you? Because maybe a weekday is better. So I'm just letting you know, pop it down below. Now, what I'm sprinkling all over here is I have gone through and I've put a heap of crystals on my leaves. So I've got little crystals. So there's some little tiny sprigs in there. And you'll see it when I zoom in later. You'll see that it's got lots of, and they're clear, they're crystal clear. So you can actually see where they're going. And you can see how shiny and reflective they are. I love all that sort of thing. So I am adding some more crystally bits on here at the moment as we speak. And I do some on the white side as well, because I think it's got to have balance. Even though it's a 2/3, 1/3, and the black is a lot heavier, you need to balance that out with at least some on the other side, just to make sure. So these ones that I'm putting on this side are black, and they actually look sort of silver, but they're on a black bead, and that's what I was going with. I don't actually have a black. I have black, but they have different kinds of reflection on top of them. One's kind of a magenta gold, one's a blue green, and one's a green gold. So it's not actually black. So that's something I'm looking for. Let me know below if you have found that. Maybe pink for a studio, maybe shimmers, I'm not sure. Let me know if you've found a good black reflective, because I've got, what are they called? Enamel dots. I've got black enamel dots, but they're not shiny, they're not reflective, they're just black half dots basically. So yeah, so now all I'm doing, I thought this one might like to have itself a little bit of a faux stitched border around it, and just to really draw more parallels to the black on white and the white on black. So, and then we're nearly finished, guys. So don't forget, the pen work is just as important at the end of a layout. If you want to add something extra that doesn't cost the earth, and this is something that really doesn't, if you purchase some Posca paint pens, always store them tip down. I think they tell you to store them the other way, but I always store mine tip down. They don't run out the bottom, but yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they tell you to keep them the other way. I don't know. But anyway, so the white there, I'm using my Uniball Signo Broad white pigment pen, and I love it because every time I use it, it's this white. It's bright white, and it sits on top of the paper, doesn't absorb into it. It's not a felt tip. It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. So this is just about me done, guys. Now I'm going to do the close-ups for you, and let me know below. One, did you see the other one, and do you like this one more than the other one? Or you can still see the other one, guys, by the way. It's still up there. You just have to be signed into YouTube, and you have to have verified your age to be able to see anything that YouTube's given that category to. Can you see the little clusters of the clear ones? They're super cute. I love them. They're gorgeous. And you can see all the bits of bling everywhere. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. So let me know what you think. Don't forget, if you're getting value out of my videos, please hit the like button, share with your friends, and if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe to my channel. It's free, and I give you lots and lots of different hints and tips along the way. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Look at all that bling. I absolutely love it. It's gorgeous. Thanks, guys. Chat to you soon. Bye for now.